Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Will 420. This is my channel that I've created for you guys in the YouTube community and all my friends and family out there, where I will do my best to do a weekly reading for you guys. And yeah, it's just a place where we can all love each other and, I don't know, have a good time. I'm working on the intro here, but that's my main saying for the slogan of the channel and life, which is love is the key that opens the heart. Hope is the dream that awakens the soul. Peace is the light that guides the way. And faith is the certainty that sees us through. And so for this week's weekly reading, which is technically going to be April 12th, April 13th, I believe, to the 20th, we'll say, or 19th, excuse me, I thought I would give you guys a different option. Now, I only have one tarot deck at the moment, which is the Anna K Tarot deck. Right there, sponsored by the beautiful Miss London Jador. Please go check out her channel. She's kind of on a hiatus right now, but please go check out her videos anyway. She does a really good job, guys, and I really am a big fan of hers. Also, I wanted to take a time out real quick to say thank you to Tarot Readings by Kate. She's another inspiration for this. She does weekly readings, and she did it where she picked 3 different cards from different decks, and that one card would give you indication towards your week. So what I did, guys, is I decided that I would do 3 different sets of cards from the same deck. And so you have to pick a number. So you pick 1, 2, or 3. And then I'll go over each one for what it is. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a minute. You can either choose from deck 1, the number 1, if you're drawn to that, number 2, or number 3. Whichever one you're drawn to, okay? So I'm going to wait a few minutes. All right. So if you picked deck number 1, if you're drawn to number 1, this is going to be the 3 cards indicating how your week's going to go, okay? Again, this is choice number 1 we're doing here. So for choice number 1, the first card we have is the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords, swords represent mental thinking and thoughts and stuff like that. They represent the element of air. And so in this picture, you see this guy, he's standing here, and the moon's in the back, it's nighttime, and there's a little bit of water, and it looks like there's kind of an opening to a beachway. And there's the 2 swords in the doorway, and there's 2 ties around them. And, you know, it seems like he's kind of confused or unsure, or he's turning his back on something. He's turning his back on the moon and on the ocean there. And this can represent, from the emotional standpoint, you've turned your back on your emotions for some reason, and you're not really sure why. You're completely abandoning your emotions. And if you look at the water there, the water's kind of choppy. You know, those waves don't look so happy. It doesn't look like an inviting beach there. So this is telling me that basically come the beginning of your week, you're really going to be turning your back on a situation or some kind of emotional discomfort, really, and kind of not sure of which way to go or which way feels right to you, okay? And the next thing we have is the moon. Okay, now this is really interesting because we have the moon here, which represents intuition, and we have the moon as a major arcana theme here. So even though this guy's turned his back on the moon here, we have the moon here for the major arcana, and it's key number 18. And so the moon represents intuition and emotions. And if you look here, the water's still a little bit choppy here, but in the background it's kind of getting a little bit smoother, but the moon's even bigger, largely emphasized here. And so what I would say is that the moon is really representing that you need to really get in touch with your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts. And really, even though you're trying to turn your back on the situation, look at things from an emotional perspective and really think about what feels right to you for this next week, what choices you have to make. Pay attention to your intuition too. And the third card from choice number 1 is, and then that's where you'll end up to the Queen of Pentacles. And so in the Queen of Pentacles here, you see the sunny background there, the trees. Pentacles represent earth, which is, your money, practical ideas, possessions, stuff like that. And so this lady here, she's pregnant with an idea, or a baby, we'll say, or something. And there's this harvest around her. And so this is telling me that you're trying to go forward for this next week, but you're not sure. So there's an emotion. You're turning your back on a situation, and you're trying to move on to a more stronger emotional stability. And if you keep doing that, if you choose to do that, and you make the right decision and focus on your emotions, tap into that, embrace them, you'll be able to get to the proper prosperity here, which is the being pregnant with new ideas and new thoughts, and there'll be more of a harvest for you to reap for this next week. Okay, so that's what we have for choice number 1. Okay. So if you were drawn to number 2, we're going to do number 2's reading here for this next week. So the first card we have for people that chose number 2 is Justice. So Justice is card number 8 in the key in the major arcana, which means major secret. And here you see the bright sunny background behind here. And this lady's got this huge sword raised up, and she's got a crown on there. It could be a guy too. I can't really tell. No, it's a chick. And these 2 pillars here represent like dark and light, or yin and yang, right and wrong. And she's got a book there. So justice represents, and there's the Libra scales, by the way, or scales of justice. It represents trying to figure out the right choice, or being fair or balanced about a decision. Representing some kind of justful decision. I would say, to me, I kind of get a feeling this is saying that whatever wrongs or injustice you might be going through, you're going to be able to, there'll be justice in your favor. That's what I get from this card for the beginning of your week. And the card that goes with that is the 9 of Rods. Okay, so the 9 of Rods here, you see this man. 9 of Rods represent, by the way, creativity, and they're associated with the element of fire. Excuse me, guys. And this guy here, he looks very unhappy. He looks very angry. He's kind of on guard. And there's clouds and storminess in the background. And that's what the 9 of Rods represents typically. You're on guard about something. So you might be seeking justice kind of the beginning of the week about something. And you're going to be on guard too, because that's what the 9 of Wands represents. They're on guard about something. There's this house here, and looks like the guy's left the house, but he's still guarding something. He's got his back turned to the house, but he's still on guard. He's not happy about something. He's angry, so he's having to stand up for himself. That's what that represents. And then the last card is we have the Hermit. Okay, and the Hermit, that's 2 major arcana cards, and the Hermit is key number 9 in the major arcana, and this represents solitude, needing to be retreat by yourself, spiritual enlightenment or spiritual knowledge on your own, solitary practicing. And if you see here, there's this torch here, this light that I'm most drawn to. Even though this guy's sitting here in the dark looking beyond the cave at the horizon, or whatever he's looking at here, there's this light that I'm drawn to within this card here. Okay, it's a flame. The candle wax is kind of melting on the rock there. But the Hermit represents the time to need to be alone, to recoup, to be solid, to be spending time alone, basically. And so what I get from this for this next week, from these 3 cards looking at him, is maybe actually there might be something that went unjustly for you, and so you are on guard, and so you're having to, or maybe you're worried about which decision, or what right decision to make, and so you're on guard. There's things in your life that you're not happy about this next week that you need to feel like on guard about. And so you want to spend a lot of solo time reflecting about what it is you really want. But you got to pay attention to this light here, because this light is you in a sense. And you got to make sure that you let your inner light shine so you can make a good, justly decision. And remember to still, while going through whatever you go through this next week, make sure you stay on guard, and you're on guard about everything you're trying to work towards, okay? Excuse me, guys, I got a bug in my throat today. I do apologize. So that's what we had for choice number 2. And again, guys, please let me know if you guys don't like this format. I won't do it. But I really, really, really wanted to try to shake things up. In the meantime, I'm going to get another Oracle deck this week. So I'll be able to bring that back in too for this next week, because I really want to try to buckle down and do daily readings for you guys, okay? And excuse me, because I totally forgot to light my incense. Oops. Sorry. I don't edit if you can't tell. Maybe in the future I'll start editing, but right now, just don't have the time, Felicia. Okay, and so choice number 3. Here we are. If you were drawn to the number 3, the first card we have for your week is, and 3 is my favorite number, so if I had to pick, I always pick number 3. We have the Chariot, and this is really one of my other favorite cards of mine too in any deck. And the Chariot is a major arcana card, and it represents the strengthening of your will. It represents freedom of choice. And if you look here, this guy, he's got he's on this chariot here. He's heading towards the sun. Big old prosperous background here, and this to me is saying that you are in charge of your life right now. You're taking action and really in charge of how things are going. The 2 horses typically represent like light and dark again, or which way to go. And so this is saying you are in control. You're in absolute control of everything. You got your strengthening, your determination, your will, your power. You're in touch with everything, and you're on the right track too. That's what I get from this, starting off the week, okay? The second card we have is the Devil. Now, I don't usually do reverse cards, but for some reason lately I felt drawn to them. So this one we're going to do in reverse. And we have the Devil. Now, if it were upright, the Devil would represent, you see this chaos here, and there's fire in the background, and there's the Devil sitting on his throne. There's lust going on. Titties, I guess. And these people seem in chaos. And so the Devil represents being bound or feeling bound to a certain situation, be it an addiction, a situation, a place, a person, whatever, and the human bonds of things. But since we got it in reverse, guys, it represents that you're not bound by anything. You're aware of everything that's going on in your life. You know you're free. You know you're not addicted or whatever. You know you're breaking through those human chains that you felt, because this is telling you have the free will. You're strengthening your will. You're strengthening your power to be on the right track to go, to make sure you are in charge of your future. And the third card to go with this, and this is perfect, is Death. Now, don't freak out. This does not mean again that you're going to die, okay? Oh my God, that's 3 major arcana cards. Wow. Boy, is that telling you something. Okay, so, but anyways, let me get to Death real quick. Death is representing, you see this guy, he's an angel here, angel of death, if you will. There's a path here. And Death, he's got his black wings and his scythe there. And Death typically means or represents the ending of something, like an emotions or a situation or a place, or, you know, or maybe a job situation that you weren't happy with. It represents the ending of a cycle in a specific like a specific situation. Like I said, it means that you have given death to what you've known, and you're moving on to something better. And so he's kind of urging us to follow him on this new path here, this path that leads, if you look, there's light there, sunny light in the background. This is saying there's hope going on. So this is saying whatever dark times we went through, Death is leading you on and saying you're ready to move on to the next phase or whatever. That's what this represents. So since these were 3 major arcana cards for choice number 3, this is really good for you guys, because this is telling you you're on the right track. You're headed towards better times. You're not bounded by all the human, I'll just say, bull crap that you went through before. You've unbounded those chains, and you are, well, along with the angel of death, if you will, or you've given death to your emotions, a situation, all that, and you're ready to move forward to the next thing. So, okay, and that's what we have for choice number 3. So that's really cool. Alrighty, guys, so that's all I have for this week's reading. I kind of, again, wanted to change it up, and I wanted to say thank you to Tarot Readings by Kate. Again, I think you're so wonderful, Kate. I do love your readings as well. And again, London Jador, please check out her channel. She's the one that sponsored this beautiful Anna K Tarot deck, and I really hope that she gets back up in the game, girl, because we need you. Come on. All right, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. And like I said, as soon as I get my new Oracle deck going, I'll be back with more daily readings and more weekly readings. And I'm going to try to do some monthly readings, too, I was thinking about, for different signs as well. But, guys, have a wonderful week. Namaste, and thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.